Hi guys, welcome to my channel.
Think happy, be happy. The magic faraway tree.
Chapter 4: The Land of Spells.
Rick shot round and down the inside of the faraway tree on his cushion. He came to the bottom. He shot out of the trapdoor there, and landed on the soft green moss. He sat there for a moment, out of breath. That's the loveliest slide I've ever had. He thought to himself, oh, wouldn't I like to do that again. He had just got up from the moss when the trapdoor at the bottom of the tree opened once again, and Franny shot out on a yellow cushion. Then came Beth, giggling, for she always thought it was a huge joke to slide down inside the tree like that. "What do we do with the cushions?" asked Rick. "Does Moonface want them back?" "Yes, he does," said Franny, picking them up. "The red squirrel always collects them and sends them back to him." As she spoke, a red squirrel, dressed in a sweater, popped out of a hole in the trunk. "Here are the cushions," said Franny, and the squirrel took them. He looked up into the tree, and a rope came swinging down. "Moonface always lets it down for his cushions," said Beth. Rick watched the squirrel tie the 3 cushions to the rope end. Then he gave 3 gentle tugs at the rope, and at once the rope was pulled up, and the cushions went swinging up the tree to Moonface. "I wish Joe was with us," said Rick, as they all went home. "Do you think Aunt Polly will be worried about him?" "Well, we'll have to tell Mother the truth," said Franny. "She is sure to ask where he is." Mother did ask, of course, and the girls told her what had happened. "I find all this very difficult to believe," said Mother, astonished. "I think Joe is just spending the night with Moonface for a treat. I'll trust Moonface to take care of him tonight, but he must come back tomorrow." Nobody said any more. The girls and Rick felt very tired, and after some hot chocolate and baked potatoes for dinner, they all went to bed. Beth wondered how Joe was getting on at Moonface's. He was getting on all right, though he was very tired of being upside down. It didn't matter how hard he tried to stand the right way up, he always swung back topsy-turvy again. The policeman had put a very strong spell on him. "You had better try to sleep in my bed," said Moonface. "I'll sleep on my sofa. I suppose I'll have to stand on my head all night," said poor Joe. And that's just what he did have to do. It was very uncomfortable. Once he lost his balance when he was asleep, and tipped off the bed. He almost fell down the slippery slip, but Moonface, who was awake, reached out a hand and caught his leg just in time. "My goodness," said Moonface. "Don't go doing things like this in the middle of the night, Joe. It's so disturbing." "Well, how can I help it?" said Joe. "I'll tie your feet to a nail on my wall," said Moonface. "Then you can't topple over when you are asleep." So he did that, and Joe didn't fall down anymore. When morning came, he was surprised to find himself upside down, because at first he didn't remember what had happened. "I'll just peep up through the hole in the cloud and see if by any chance the land of spells is there yet," said Moonface. "If it is, we'll go up and see what we can do for you." So off he went up the little ladder and popped his head out of the hole in the cloud to see if the land of topsy-turvy was still there, or if it had gone. There was nothing there at all, only the big white cloud, moving about like a thick mist. Moonface slipped down the ladder again. "Topsy-turvy has gone, but the next land hasn't come yet," he said. "We'll have breakfast and then I'll look again." "Hello, there's Silky. Stay and have breakfast." "Silky dear, I came up to see how Joe was," said Silky. "Yes, I'd love to have breakfast." It's funny to watch Joe eating upside down. Hasn't the land of spells come yet? Not yet, said Moonface, putting a kettle on his stove to boil. There's nothing there at all, but Topsy-Turvy is gone, thank goodness. They all had breakfast. Moonface cooked some porridge. What do you want on your porridge? He asked Joe. Syrup. Sugar, cream. Joe couldn't see any syrup, sugar or cream on the table. Syrup, he said. Please, Moonface. Moonface handed him a small jug that seemed to be quite empty. Syrup, he said to the jug in a firm voice. And syrup came pouring out as soon as Joe tipped up the jug. Silky wanted cream and cream came out when Moonface said, cream, to the jug. It was great fun. Moonface went again to see if the land of spells had come. This time he came back excited. It's there, he said. Come on. I'd better take some money with me, I think, in case we have to buy the spell we want. He took a small bag down from a shelf, and then he and Silky helped Joe to walk upside down up the branch that led through the hole in the cloud to the little ladder. Up he went with great difficulty, holding on tightly to the rungs of the ladder with his hands. At last he was up in the land of spells. This land was like a big marketplace. In it were all kinds of curious little shops and stalls. All kinds of people sold spells. In some of the shops sat tall wizards, famous for their magic. In some of them were green-eyed witches, making spells as fast as they could. Outside, in the marketplace, sat all kinds of fairy folk at their stalls. Pixies, gnomes, goblins, elves, all crying their wares at the tops of their high voices. Spell to make a crooked nose straight, cried one pixie, rattling a yellow box in which were magic pills. Spell to grow blue daffodils, cried a gnome, showing a bottle of blue juice. Spell to make cats sing, cried another gnome. Joe could hardly believe his ears. How odd. Who would want to make cats sing? Now, we must just see if we can possibly find a spell to make you stand up straight again, said Moonface, and he went into a little low shop where a strange goblin sat. The goblin had blue, pointed ears, and his eyes sparkled as if they had fireworks in them. Good morning, said the witch. Do you want a spell? Yes, please, said Silky in her most polite voice. We want to make our friend Joe stand the right way up again. That's easy, said the witch, her green eyes looking in a kindly way at poor Joe. I've only got to rub a walking spell onto the soles of his feet and he will be all right. The walking spell will make his feet want to walk and he will have to stand up the right way to walk on them so he will be cured. Come, here, young man. Joe walked over to the witch on his hands. She took down a jar from a shelf and opened it. It was full of purple ointment. The witch rubbed some onto the soles of Joe's shoes. Rimini Romini Reet, stand on your own 2 feet. Rimini Romini Ro, the right way up you must go. And, of course, you can guess what happened. Joe swung right over, stood on his 2 feet again, and there he was, as upright as Moonface and Silky. Wasn't he glad?
Please subscribe my channel and encourage me to upload more videos.
Like, comment, share, subscribe and press the bell icon and never miss another update.